And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
It's a common expression, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. However, what if the horse's mouth is filled with useful insurance tools? This is the exact case with the Geico app. Yes, the app is free and therefore a gift horse. However, look inside the app and behold, emergency roadside assistance, digital ID cards, bill pay. Get the Geico app. Look it in the mouth. Get amazing services. Thank you.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Jimmy Mack is a renowned medical intuitive and spiritual life coach who has taken, completed, and even mastered a variety of healing modalities. After a near-death experience, he was shown and developed a simpler way to create healing and profound changes, now known as My Liquid Fish. He works with clients in person, on the phone, and over Skype worldwide, accessing energetic powers and co-creating changes that you can actually feel. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 713-955-0594. Press 1 if you would like to ask Jimmy Mack a question. Enjoy this 1 hour of profound healing.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Mack coming to you live. We're happy to be here. We're happy to, oh, I love that siren going by. That's just a message of everything's going to be all right. So we are back in sunny Florida, and you'll note we didn't have a show, of course, last Tuesday because of the hurricane. No power, no phones, no nothing. We at least had running water. So it's the little things, and we're happy to be here with everybody, and we're glad you're here today. So, getting underway, happy to rebuild. You know, I had a feeling about the hurricane, of course, twice the size of our state. It came out as a Category 5, and but by the time it reached us in the Tampa Bay area, thank God we knocked it down to a 1. You always think out of ego, God, I'd love to move it off to the east further. I wanted so many things personally to happen that didn't, but in the end, to go from a, Category 5 down to a 1 is pretty phenomenal. So we're happy for that. Could have been a lot worse, as they say in our neck of the woods. It's not just us, folks. There's wildfires, and I know they occur out west all the time. But wildfires, you've got other hurricanes, we've got earthquakes. It's a lot of shall I say, global warming. If you haven't seen the Al Gore movie, you probably should. It's An Inconvenient Truth, the sequel. No matter what your political affiliation is, it defies common sense to not think that things are warming up. They definitely are. So, kind of amazing. At any rate, we're happy everybody's here. We hope you call in today for readings and whatever else is going on as far as intuitive and also healings as well. Reverend Tiffany just IM'd me and said they're even ready for a hurricane watch up in the Northeast, which is New York, Connecticut, up that way. So very profound stuff happening, and we're happy that you guys are on board today. And next week we have, of course, our Reverend Debbie, who is our trans medium, who has communication with the dead. And so we're always happy to get messages from our loved ones in heaven. She's just a profound reader, healer in her own right. And so we always are happy to have her on. We do have on deck coming out probably before the end of the year, the way it's going right now, I'm going to do a little book on an ebook and also paperback, of course, on doing dowsing, whether you're using a pendulum, body dowsing using your fingers, that sort of thing, radionics, and, just a little how-to. Every year I have presentations for the Florida Dowsing Group, and that's up out of the Villages area in the middle of Florida there. And so I like to always create something to bring to them. We always have, 200 or 300 people in attendance at the Unity Church there. And so it's always a festive time. Those are kind of my peoples. Anybody that's down the yellow brick road like we are, if you're listening to this, you're my peoples, that's for sure. So I love all of it, the yoga, the intuitive stuff, numerology, tarot, astrology. It's just so fascinating. So we just love it. This is part of our give back and of service for those that can't afford, even my reasonable rates of healing and intuition. This is a chance for everybody to call in live and at least get a session, at least get a little psychic intuition, a little guidance, perhaps a healing in and of itself. So if you haven't already called in, you definitely want to do so. It's 713-955-0594. You want to press 1 if you want to be in the queue to raise your hand and ask questions. And we're happy that everybody's here. Got a whole lineup for October, November, December. Incredible amount of folks that are going to be on board for the show. I think it makes it just a wider breadth of more fun. So that's why I have all these different people on. Otherwise, it'd just be me working on you. And that may be dynamic, but it's also one-sided. And I like to triangulate things and come up with ways where we could perhaps see a different view. Often the intuitives themselves, might see the redfish in my giant 100-gallon saltwater aquarium, and they're on the backside looking at a redfish in the rocks, and all you and I can see are blue and yellow. So it brings about a different perspective, and that's a huge part of what we have going on here today. So I'm excited about today's special guest is Dr. Rita Louise. She's a best-selling author and a medical intuitive herself, similar to what I do. And she's the host of Just Energy Radio and the founder of the Institute of Applied Energetics. Fran Dresher's delivery without the whine. I love that, if you remember the show The Nanny. And that's how one audience member put it for Dr. Rita's frank, funny, and yet honest approach. Dr. Rita possesses the caliber of knowledge and experience that organizations demand, and she infuses every engagement with both credibility and content. She has a unique ability to deliver a serious message through intriguing stories and her own brand of humor. And she's been on as many radio shows and TV shows and things as I have, so we're excited to have her here. And her high-content presentations and down-to-earth strategies are empowering and motivate audiences. So we're glad you guys are here. Be sure and raise your hand. You can find out more about Dr. Louise at soulhealer.com. That's SOUL healer.com. Hi, Dr. Rita Louise. Are you there? How are you?
I'm great, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm thankful to have you on today. And I just happened on Facebook last night, and so our world is so small that you were on Reverend Michael Carbone's show. So how wild is that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was just kind of like a last-minute thing, but it was really fun. He's a great guy, so...
He is, and he's from my neck of the woods. He's originally from Tampa Bay area, Florida, so...
Uh-huh. Well, how fun is that?
I know, right? And now he's, I think, in Puerto Rico, right? So up in the mountain.
No, he's in...
not Puerto Rico, Costa Rica. That's what it is, Costa Rica. Yeah. And got some mountaintop kind of retreat, yoga, healing kind of spa event going on there. So that's really cool. So we're happy to have you on today, too. Tell folks a little bit more about yourself and how they can get a hold of you and get sessions and that sort of thing.
Sure. I mean, my background is the primary work that I do with people is medical intuition. So I work with people, helping them understand what's going on with their body on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels. To support that, I'm a naturopathic physician, which means I work with people with herbs and supplements, as well as using energy work, energy healing as modalities to create wellness. and have a PhD in natural health counseling. So I do a lot of work in that area. But I also work with people, talking about their relationships and talking about what's going on at work and giving intuitive insights and guidance to help people steer their way through life, which I think is just so important for everyone, to have someone give them an outside, honest, and fresh look at what's going on.
I love that. And that's so well said, because, kind of my joke is it's the stranger will influence everything, right? But we're not tied up in their mess, and we're just coming at it from a really fresh perspective. And, if they go, hey, should I move to North Carolina or South Carolina, we're just shooting from the hip on what we get that comes in. And so we're not attached to what they do, which I think often gives us much more clarity perhaps than they have from being in the middle of the forest. So, yeah.
I always think that it's interesting, and I'm just going to throw this in, is that, and I'm sure this happens to you a lot as well, is you do a reading for someone and you're going on, and finally they just look at you and go, but I know all of that. And I'm like, but I've never met you before in my life, and I didn't know it, but now I do. And to me, that's like the most validating, although irritating to them, response that you can get.
Right. Well, and that's kind of my joke, is the two psychics meet in the middle of the road. The one says to the other, you're fine, how am I? So often they can't see for themselves, right? And often also, it's like, okay, now you got two people that know the horrible, right? And so the power is in changing it and doing what you do and what I do, and maybe your advice of a particular herb or vitamin or mineral that's going to actually address what they got going on, whereas they're just, plumping along, not doing anything, or they've been the Western medical route with zero success. So those are generally the folks that wind up coming to me too as a last resort kind of thing. And that's okay. I'm happy to have the medical world rule it out first.
But I think that there are more and more people that don't trust Western medicine, or they might go to their doctor, but they're not satisfied with you have to be on this medication for the rest of your life, or that there isn't any other approach to dealing with an issue other than chopping it out. And they are looking for, it's not necessarily the last resort. They're looking for some other kind of input, because the solution that they're being offered is unsettling to them.
Right, yeah. Or it's, often you can't watch the news or any TV program without seeing a pharmaceutical ad, and gosh, the side effects sound worse than whatever you got when you're watching it, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they run those commercials, to be honest with you.
I believe my friend told me that the reason they do that is for continual warning to the doctors, believe it or not. So it's kind of a weird public service thing to the doctors. Not only are they going to say, here are the side effects, but they have commercials that go, and this may cause internal bleeding or death or the explosion of your liver. And it's like, good Lord, I'm just trying to get rid of acne, right? And they say that it's a liability issue, or they're putting the information out there as a liability warning to the doctors of what could happen. So that's the reasoning behind it. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And, my thing is, if you keep trying different pills, or as you know, surgery or whatever it is, and it's not working, then oftentimes it's the weird stuff that's peripheral or just out there, or an emotion or an energy negative piece that, they're never going to pick up on. And so if we can grab that and somehow change that with whatever method or technique we're using, then that can also pose a tremendous amount of relief for, whoever we're working with.
Well, I mean, and sometimes just giving the person a sense of hope. I mean, not that I would lie to my client to give them a sense of hope, but to let them know, the world hasn't come to an end, and there is a solution. It might take some time, and you might have to make some internal changes within yourself to move them forward, because sometimes it's not just about taking a pill or a supplement or whatever. Sometimes it's about learning to love yourself, or letting go of a toxic relationship, whether it's a job or a personal relationship or whatever that is. Sometimes it's really about internally changing so that the disease that we've created for ourselves can go away.
Right. Well said. Well said. Well, let's grab a caller. 818. Carolyn, you're on the line. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are both of you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Do you have a question for Dr. Louise?
Yes, I was just wondering, are there any messages for me today?
I mean, I'm not a medium, so I don't talk to dead people per se.
Carolyn, in what direction are you looking at? Let's put it that way. Do you have a physical issue or anything going on she can help you with?
Well, I've had thyroid issues all my life, and I'm 68 years old. And the last couple of tests that the thyroid doctor have given me, they said that my thyroid is normal, and I don't think so. So I was just wondering about that.
Well, Caroline, I'm going to kind of put a different spin on it. I feel like one of the things that you haven't been having in a very long time is fun. I feel like life has been very serious for you, and it takes a lot of your energy, your internal energy, to do these things that on a lot of levels you just don't even want to do in the first place. And so I feel like your whole energy system is really kind of out of balance. And so maybe bringing some fun back in your life, bringing some enthusiasm back in your life, bringing some joy back in your life will make your body equalize back to where it needs to be.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy, you got anything?
Yeah, I feel really good about that. Thyroid, I study with a lot of different people, and some of you whom you might even know, Dr. Rita Louise, and that is, of course, Richard Bartlett from Matrix Energetics. He's a chiropractor. He went to Bastyr and got his naturopathic. And, a lot of these folks would say also thyroid is basically the thermostat of the house. So I do get your thyroid is weak, but I definitely, that's a great slant on it, Carolyn, because, perhaps I recall before you had kind of an octopus thing going on. It felt like everybody was kind of reaching into your energy in your pocketbook, if you will.
Yes.
So you definitely need to get out there and have more fun. You want to stand up and rock something out? Let's just strengthen the thyroid real quick, okay?
Okay, I'm up. I'm up.
There you go. So, right. Just due north. And so if you think of thyroid right now, it's going to pull you back for weakness.
Okay,
That's
yes.
a sign of weak. And I'm just going to change it real fast to strength and bring in more positive strength into thyroid.
Okay.
You feel that? It's going to push you forward and bring you back to neutral once it's done.
Right. It happened already.
Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Selenium doesn't test well for you. There's a lot of other things you can Google and read about on thyroid. Desiccated thyroid tests are really good for you. High-end stuff that would nurture thyroid. But again, I would definitely chime in with Dr. Rita on that one, and that is that, you definitely want to get out there and have more fun. I've been going to aqua class, which is like a Zumba in the water, believe it or not, 6 days a week. So either go morning or evening, and just to get out and be motivated and, do things like that in a group, you need to look into something like that that's going to get your energy, your chi, everything moving more. Perhaps in a more of a social setting. Doesn't matter if it's the gardening club or I tell everybody, yoga, tai chi, qigong, whatever it is you want to take, but you definitely need to do something like that. It could be book of the month club every week, but get out there and something more social. Okay?
Can I throw one last thing in there, Caroline?
Please do, yeah.
I feel like it's very hard for you to say no. And the thyroid is associated with the fifth chakra, which is about our communication space. And I feel like that's, kind of why I made the comment about having more fun, because I feel like you end up fixing everything for everyone and you have a hard time saying no.
Okay. I'm getting better.
So I think you're getting better. I do think you're getting better. And I think once you start bringing that fun in, it will help increase your autonomy, and it'll just keep going more and more and more.
Okay, that's great. Thank you both.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks so much for calling in, love. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. No problem.
You bet. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you. 508 is our next caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, my name is Helen. How are you, Jimmy?
Good, Helen. How are you? What's going on? Dr. Rita Louise is on the line. You have a question?
Hi, Dr. Rita Louise. How are you?
I'm doing great, Helen. Nice to hear from you. How can we help?
I would love your insight on my left shoulder that I've put quite a bit of work on, and so have a few other people, but it seems to still be giving me some pain and discomfort in certain positions. So I'd love to hear what both of you have to say about that.
Okay. And I'm very kinesthetic, so I'm standing here with like raising my arm going, okay, so how is it hurting? Okay, so I feel like you have some very severe muscle contractions that are happening and I'm not a muscle expert, but kind of over the shoulder blade and the deltoid, just that whole muscle group. I feel like depending on what's going on, it will go from being okay to having a bunch of inflammation in it. And I always like to kind of throw in emotional stuff if it comes up for me. I feel like there's part of you that ends up carrying around the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And so there's always this constant pressure and pushing down happening to you. And so what I'm feeling for you, there's some very simple things that you can do is when it's starting to flare up, I like old school, put some ice on it,
Yeah.
Get that bag of peas out and stick it on that area. I feel like one of the things that you've been doing has been to really try to work the muscle, and I'm feeling like at this point in time, it's a little overstimulated.
Okay.
And so I feel like ice is more appropriate, gentle movements appropriate, some gentle massage would be appropriate, putting some essential oils like peppermint on it would be great because that can be pain relieving, but it adds heat, but you would do that after your ice.
Right.
So you don't want to do it at the same time. You want to do ice and then heat, and ice and then heat. So.
Thank you. Yeah, the pain, it's funny, the pain only happens in certain positions. Like if I'm taking, say, a shirt off over my head, if I'm stretching the arm straight up, otherwise I could be doing a million things all day long and it wouldn't bother me at all. And the pain only lasts probably less than 10 seconds, and then it's gone. I mean, obviously I stop doing what I'm doing. So I'll have to become friends with something cold because I'm not a fan of cold. I'm more of a fan of warmth, but I can certainly give it a try. And I definitely have the essential oils around, so that's easy to do.
Awesome.
Can I share a quick story with Helen? So Helen, I had my arm locked up. I mean, this had been going on for a while, and I could barely put a jacket on because I couldn't move my arm high up enough, my elbow up to get the jacket on. And my doctor said that I had bursitis, which I didn't agree with. I just had really locked up muscles, which I feel like is what's going on with you. And they were going to send me to physical therapy because I wouldn't take the cortisone shots. I'm like, come on, send me to physical therapy, which was really the only reason I went to the doctor. And I was walking down the stairs at my house, and there was this short step, and I guess I hit the step just the right way, fell down the stairs. It was only 2 steps, but grabbed the railing of the stairs, ended up on the floor with my arm just like, oh my God, because I had pulled my arm completely back. But I'll tell you what, that was the fastest therapy I had ever experienced because all the stiffness in my arm went away and it was fully functional again.
Well, it's funny you're saying this because I'm actually sitting in front of a building. I'm just about to walk into work, and I'm going into a physical therapy facility with a patient that I'll be supporting.
There you go.
Well, and
you can't make this stuff up.
No, I can't. I'm an interpreter, so I go in with folks to their doctor's appointments and help them with the language, and that's exactly where I'll be in the next 10 minutes.
Nice.
Well, maybe you should have them do a little work on you.
I will definitely give it a try.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks so much for calling in, love. We'll help you any way we can.
Much.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate it. And I would also. Yeah, and I definitely side with her on alternating heat and ice. You're going to have to get to be friends with some frozen peas, okay? Epsom salt, that's good for you. Not lavender, but non-lavender Epsom salts.
Mm-hmm.
Hot, cold, even tepid water would be okay for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You test for, instead of clockwise, counterclockwise movements. So if you can counterclockwise have somebody apply some Epsom salts, almost like a little paste on there, and leave that on there for about 15 minutes. That would go a long way to knock down this inflammation. When I ask Spirit, it's bone, muscle, ligament, tendon, joint. It's more joint pain. It's definitely buried underneath the muscles that she's seeing. It's a muscle group, but it's joint, essentially, that you've kind of pulled out of place. So, bound to help you. Okay?
Thank you so much. I very much appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks. Bye. 727's our next caller. Hi. I know where you're calling from. What's your name?
Well, hi, Jimmy Mack. It's Kathy. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Kathy. How are you? You have a question for Dr. Louise?
I do. Since I've known you from corporate America and you've helped me many, many times, I feel like things have been moving forward career-wise, and now I feel they've come at a serious standstill. Again, it's like I'm a 1-month wonder consistently with consulting positions, new positions. It's like 1 month and it's over. Like lack of communication. It's like the same thing, and I feel it was moving forward. And it's like between my joint pain and this consistent block, career and financial wise, it's challenging. So my question is, what is going on? I really thought it was moving forward.
Wow, lots of stuff. Well, I feel like, I'm going, okay, which do I answer first? I feel like you're as you said, you're one-hit wonder. I feel like there's this part of you that doesn't really want to take direction from somebody else and doesn't want to give up your autonomy to somebody else. And so it kind of creates this dynamic where you don't have to. As far as the feeling stuck right now, I feel like there's part of you that's just really discouraged with what's going on. But I want to also make the comment is that that's kind of the energy that the planet has been on for the past while. Just this energy of confusion. We're not really sure where we're supposed to put our energy because it seems like nothing's working. And so we just stop. And so, congratulations, you're being sensitive to the energy on the planet. Have you ever looked at creating your own business, or doing something where it is where you end up being the boss and aren't particularly accountable to anyone, or a situation where you work more from home and you have a meeting once a day and then you just go do your thing, because it seems like your longevity would be much higher in situations like that?
Well, that's what I've been basically doing, is more working from home on a consulting basis, actually. They're all opportunities that I created, and they just were very short-lived. So, yeah, it was more on an autonomous level. It's like, how can you be a consultant when people won't take your advice? They want a magic wand. That's what happened in the last 2 cases. You know, they just want me to say, oh, yeah, your business is going to be awesome. And it's like both of the companies were similar in what they did. They were exactly the same thing, one on the East Coast, one on the West. And they both had the same mindsets. They didn't really know the industry, and they had expectations that were unrealistic. And they didn't want to hear that it wouldn't work the way they had in mind.
But then, I mean, I understand your frustration, but it wasn't your problem. You know, it was their problem. But with that said, you know, I feel like you work well with the law of attraction, and I feel like you're very good at putting out what you want to create. But I feel like part of that mock-up needs to be, you know, your interaction with these people in the companies. You know, versus, well, I want to have a job, you know, or I want to make money, you know, more about those relationships and creating and having relationships so that they can be sustained for a longer period of time. How about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I would chime in with all that. Where are you on gallbladder? You still have your gallbladder?
Yeah, that cranks up. You betcha.
Okay. So that's what I immediately go to, because in your voice, all I hear is frustration. So stand up just for a second, and then let's at least look at that real quick.
Cool.
So gallbladder generally shows up as frustration. So gallbladder weakness and frustration is going to pull you forward.
Okay, I'm north now.
Yeah. You'll feel a hard pull on that.
Yes.
I want to release it, delete and erase it, disentangle all that out. Have her learn all the lessons she needed to from it, release her from the service to it, pull her straight back when you're done.
I'm getting pulled back. Yeah.
It's going to pull. It's going to pull out frustration. We're going to pull out the weakness of gallbladder, all of it. It's going to drop you off in neutrality once it's done.
Yeah, I keep just walking backwards.
Yeah, and it'll keep pulling that. It'll pull, and it'll drop you back off.
I just got really hot, too. Really, really hot.
Yeah. Anything you could do that be more supportive of gallbladder. People show up in my world as either HCl or non-HCl. You're non-HCl, meaning you need to be taking some more digestive enzymes that aren't 100% HCl. Different things. There's papaya. There's all kinds of different things. If you email me, I'll send you a list. I don't sell product, but I'd certainly direct you to look at and research some things.
I take papaya enzymes often, actually, almost every day. So.
Yeah, I don't feel like you're getting enough of that, though. I would take at least like 3 of those with every meal kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I usually take like 2 a day. So
yeah,
sure.
you need like 3 with every meal. And internally, I feel like what this is going to do is blend this up for you, help you digestive-wise, help the sluggish gallbladder, what we just did and changed, and also that will help you with this frustration. If you can knock down frustration within yourself, then you'll stop radiating out, oh my God, I can't wait for the next frustrating client or consulting deal, right? What you described earlier as unrealistic expectations is the first chapter in my certified practitioner book for what I teach. So there you go. Managing clients' unrealistic expectations. So you just described half of Dr. Rita Louise and our client base. So it just is what it is. But you have to pretty much come to terms with that's the way a lot of things are. And so if we can knock this down, this frustration internally, I believe you might find that then you start radiating out more of a balance, and even the digestive enzymes would blend things more, if you will, like a blender, like a ninja blender. And if you get things more blended, you'll be less likely to sign on for kind of what they're showing me are hopeless projects. That's what you feel like. You keep signing on for hopeless clients. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think a lot of the frustration is coming from this fight with the boyfriend today that I just...
Oh, okay. Well, now we're going down another road. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's probably more where actually it was like the best morning of my life, watching dolphins, a great swim, rescuing dragonflies from the pool, seeing woodpeckers and bluebirds, and it was like the best day of my life. Yeah.
There you go. Well,
a magnificent sunrise. So the frustration that you're hearing is like, I said, oh my God, you cannot hammer me one more time with this, because now he's realized that this position has fallen through. He's realized it and just hammered the crap out of me. So it was awful.
Well, my thought is, Kathy, did you get paid for the job?
Well, I got paid 1 month, and they literally discontinued it immediately after that. Yes, they said we can pay you straight
you got
commission.
But you got paid for the time and energy that you put into it.
For this time, yes. Yeah.
So I mean, there's part of you that should sit there and at least go, well, I made X amount of money. What can I do this coming month to make that much money? And not get hung up that it didn't last forever, because at least you're walking away with that need satisfied, and you're not walking away chasing after these people trying to get your money.
That was the last time and the time before. So, yeah, it's good I was paid this time for what I did.
So see, you're making progress.
I don't feel that I'm not making progress. I just have to shift this 1 month's wonder stuff. That's all. It's like, I don't feel hopeless at all. I just don't see what has been.
Yeah, no, I don't see. I'm not saying I see you as hopeless. I'm saying that's how you feel about some of these clients you've taken on. Like, no matter what you're trying or doing or saying, they are hopeless. So.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and Jimmy Mack, you are the best too. Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Say hi kindly. Yes, doctor. Thank you. Bye now. Bye now.
All right. Thank you. 727
is
our next caller. Yeah, we always have fun on this show. 727 is our next caller. Hi, how are you?
Good. It's Sarah. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Sarah. Do you have a question for Dr. Rita Louise?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the status of relationships, and I've been really resentful and angry lately.
Like all your relationships or a particular relationship?
At work, I've been a little resentful and a little angry over some stuff that's gone down. My personal significant other relationship, I've been definitely resentful and frustrated and angry lately. Jimmy's familiar with it. It's not like unnecessarily. I can't say I'm unnecessarily frustrated or resentful or angry. It's kind of, I feel like it's within reason, but I also need to let it go because it's just pissing me off and I'm so pissed off all the time. I don't know how to describe it. Does that sound like a fair?
Well, when I look at your space seems really invaded by everybody around you. I feel like your auric field is kind of weak. By your choice, because our auric field is our first layer of defense from the world around us. And so when we allow energies to come into our auric field, we assume that those things are our own. And so I get the impression, just kind of looking at your energy space, is that you have a healer mentality and you're always trying to fix stuff. And then you get frustrated because they don't take your advice. It doesn't get fixed. You can't create a solution because it's really not your problem. And so I feel like the frustration and the resentment is a combination of that. But I also feel like there's part of you that also recognizes that you kind of do that, and you're trying to figure out a way to move this stuff out of your space. And so you're using that anger energy, which is a third chakra liver energy, to push it out. So that you can have your space back to yourself, and you can be like, la, 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 I'm happy, I have my space to myself, and I'm not dealing with all their stuff. And so...
Does that mean ending a relationship?
Okay.
I can't figure that part out. Okay.
Well, that's a totally separate question. You know, I'm just
I
saying
mean, that's
that.
not out of the question. I'm just like literally.
But
like, I don't. Yeah.
But when you have your space to yourself, you can answer those questions. When your space is infiltrated by boyfriend energy, it's like it's this codependent, you know, mating, you know, amoebas, you know, that are just kind of sending energy back and forth. And so it makes it a lot harder to make a decision about what do I want, because what I want is really being influenced by this other person's energy. Right. You know, and I guess I just want to say that it's okay to get angry and it's okay to get mad. You know, it's just, you know, if that becomes who and what you are for the rest of your life, okay, maybe that's not so good.
No, I just don't think it's
Jimmy?
Healthy to live in that space. I have rheumatoid arthritis and it's been flaring like crazy.
Stand up.
Since my mom passed away pretty much earlier this year, but everything
else
that's around it.
So the arthritis is a stiffness, perhaps even in your positionality. And when I ask bone, muscle, ligament, tendon, joint, you got a lot of joint issues going on. Anything you can do to stay more hydrated would help you. Turmeric tests really good for you, tons of it. As many as 3 times a day would go a long way to help this inflammation. And this is also about you being inflamed about relationships. You were speaking of your mother, which is in the past now or passed on. So you got boyfriend stuff and work stuff, and that also has to do with this inflammation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So it's going to pull you forward for yes, because they're just showing me that that's true.
Yeah.
And we're going to release it, delete it, erase and resolve it, disentangle it all out now. Have her learn all the lessons she needed to from it, release her from the service to it, pull her straight back when you're done.
It's kind of a big one.
It is huge, because it's everywhere you turn. My old accountant friend used to say, if you're surrounded by rattlesnakes and you try to fight them all at one time, one will bite you and you will die. So it's almost like you're not having any peace. You're concerned about passing of your mother. You've got kind of strife with the boyfriend, and you go to work, and it's like Vietnam. So we just want to release the feeling of all that. It's going to bring you back to neutral once that changes.
You know, and I'm going to throw in one last little piece. I feel like there's some resentment because your mom did pass, and I feel like you didn't get the support that you needed. You didn't ask for it, but you also didn't get it. And the emotional support.
Yeah.
You know, it's from the boyfriend, from work, from the people around you. And so I feel like, you know, and you didn't really give yourself time to heal from that situation. And I feel like there's resentment from that I feel like is kind of going out to all the people that, quote unquote, you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's like I'm supposed to be over it already, you know. So.
Well, I mean, but you give to everybody around you, and I feel like one of the things that you noticed is that they didn't necessarily give back. When you needed, they didn't necessarily give back, and there's a lot of resentment around that. And I think that's why your arthritis is flaring, is because you haven't owned it or resolved it or taken into account, like, you know, you, I'm unfriending you on Facebook because I needed you when you weren't there.
Yeah.
That feels right. That feels spot on to me.
Yeah, it's probably 100% spot on.
Yeah, and she doesn't know you, so that's what impresses me that much more. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just going to have to take these little things one day at a time, love, and really as much as you can with calming energy and work on that. I'll be glad to help you. She'd help you. It's whatever you need. I don't see that there's enough time for you either. I just see you sitting in a jacuzzi going, you know, and it's like, when is your time? I don't care if it's a bath, you know, could be a bubble bath with essential oils and flowers in the bubble bath, but I know it's kind of a joke with boyfriend work and kids and all that, but you still got to have some mommy time because, you know, the old joke, if mommy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Totally does.
Okay, love. We appreciate you calling in.
Thanks. Thanks for all you do. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. 941's our next caller. Hi, what's your name?
Hey, it's Anna. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Anna. How are you?
Anna from Sarasota in North Carolina, so that will give you a
Okay,
clue.
sure.
Hi, Dr. Rita.
Glad you called. Yeah. You have a question for
Hi.
Dr. Rita?
Yeah. I had a bad injury 4 years ago, and I've worked with Jimmy on it for years, too, and he's amazing. And actually, I was just thinking of him last night, so it's great I got on the call. Thank you so much. You know, victim of violent crime, run over by a car, shattered ankle, foot, and that's my moving forward foot. Been in this really bad relationship, which wished I had gotten out of sooner, listened to Jimmy and others, but whatever lessons I had to keep learning. But I'm ready to soon make the move to leave because the partner has a 12-year-old son that's mentally ill, channeling demonic energy. He's so violent to me. It's not safe in the house. I can't even be there without him. You know, so the stress is affected. I almost have a pre-fibromyalgia. There's some arthritis issues and things in the injury. So there's still pain with that, although it's gotten better. But I know I need to move forward, and it's really causing a lot of financial blocks still. So it's this bad circle. I need the money to leave, and yet my energy is so assaulted because I am a healer and empath that I'm trying to just not take it in, but it's really hard to be there. And I've really had enough because it's so bad. So I do have a storage unit lined up because I'm in North Carolina trying to get back to Florida. And but it's been just affecting just all my energy and my health. And,
and I feel like getting out of there, getting out of there is the most important part because it is sucking your energy. Even if you could find a friend that you could stay with for a couple of weeks, it would just be so revitalizing to you to be in a safe and neutral environment so that you can just, spend the time regrouping your energy space. I mean, I get the impression that, you're really good at attracting things to you that you want and need. I feel like you have, I feel like you are very intuitive, although there are times that you don't listen to yourself. But I feel like this message is coming through loud and clear, and now it's more a matter of figuring out how to navigate it.
Right.
Reach out to people that you know. I mean, I'm putting out prayers that there are people that you know that you will help you get through this transition and give you places to stay because you don't really need that much time in order to get yourself back on your feet and moving forward again. You just mostly need to get out of there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've spent actually half the year away because every trip I go on that might be a week, like when I saw family, friends in New England this summer and stayed 2 months, but I just, it's still hard taking that leap of faith, just moving the stuff out and really, having to live on couches again for a while. That's the hard part to.
Well, but there's a big difference of going to see somebody for a couple of months with the knowledge that you're going back. You can't break the chain. You can't, it's just you're on a vacation versus, I'm creating this new energy. It's kind of like when you move into a new city, it's like you don't know anybody. And so it just changes your internal dynamic into, okay, I guess I need to deal with this now. And we do. And I know you will because you're a survivor and you will.
Makes sense? Yeah, absolutely. I'd chime in with all that. You got a lot of stuff going on, now more than ever. I feel like you need to be in a place where you feel supported and loved, even if that's by yourself somewhere at a friend's house on the couch. I wouldn't care about the couch part, it almost feels like your safety is in peril or at risk. And I'm not trying to alarm you or scare you, but I'm just saying
the truth of it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they're kind of whispering in my ear, and I'm not trying to alarm you in any way, but it's almost like unless you plan on sleeping with, a weapon and one eye open, I wouldn't stay where you're at. It borders on dangerous, and I'm not trying to exaggerate it, but you're in a very precarious situation. They're immediately jumping me to like 20/20 or Nightline or 48 hours or that kind of thing. So the last thing I want you to do is get caught up in anything like that. It's almost like who you're with now and the children and all that are this just continual rolling story of chaos and drama. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to matter if that makes sense. It's not going to matter if you're there or not there. The chaos and drama will continue to ensue. And it's almost like this tumbleweed rolling through the western town. It's just going to pick up more sticks as it goes along. So really kind of want you out of that path. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with her 100%. That's your priority. Your priority is to get out of there. That's it. The healing and everything else is secondary right now. In your top 10 list.
Can we support her strength?
Sure.
Her inner fortitude. To get the chutzpah to walk out the door.
Right. Yeah. Doing it now.
Me too.
There you go. Ooh. So we're going to send you some more sacred space and healing, and also the stamina to see this through. You're stronger than everybody involved in your household, if that makes sense, or the place where you're at now. You're stronger than all of them collectively, they said. So you just kind of need to, gather it all together, get that energy, and move on to the next place, next deal. Okay?
Do you think I should be, immediately getting out, or could I still sleep there?
I would.
Could I be sleeping somewhere else? I
would do it when it's safe and comfortable for me. I wouldn't, inconvenience myself. If I were you, that's what comes through. I'm not going to inconvenience myself, but I don't care if you have to move an item a day somewhere else or in storage or whatever. They would just wake up one day and I'd be gone. So it's not like you owe them.
That's kind of my plan.
Okay, so that's what they're showing me, and I think
out the door.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I mean, I dare say that's it's almost like they don't deserve a heartfelt, loving goodbye, and they wouldn't appreciate it or really care anyway. I hate to say that out loud, but that's what's coming.
No, it would be terribly negative and abusive. It's like, what do you mean you're leaving us? And they would throw every manipulative tool. Ugh.
How dare you leave all this chaos and drama, right? You need to stay in the chaos and drama so we can all create more chaos and drama, mystery, intrigue, and upset.
And then blame it all on you.
Right.
They do. They blame it all on me. The kid throws stuff at me. He does all this stuff, and then the father comes, yells at me for yelling at his kid or just doing things. It's and then when I tell Carl, tell him that I'm, leaving. This is not help, and then he said, "Oh, you've been saying that forever. You're not going to go." And it's like, after hearing that a million times last night, I'm like, I think I'm going to go get, start putting this stuff in the storage today.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, love. Well, we appreciate you calling in, and we hope we've helped at least a little bit. Yeah, we're glad you were listening, and we're glad you called in. Your safety is paramount, and so they're just reminding me of the Julia Roberts movie, Sleeping with the Enemy, when he came in and his kitchen was so perfect, and there was a soup can out of place, and he knocked Julia Roberts down to the ground in the kitchen. That's about how outrageous this is, and so they're just trying to impress upon me you don't want to reach that level in the kitchen. So if that makes sense. Yeah, so we want to just have you just send an incredible amount of healing to you and healing yourself and working on yourself and nurturing you. Because, kind of my statement to beautiful women like yourself is, how many more years of this would you like? It's like I don't want to keep clicking off years of this, right? It's not good. I'd rather be by myself all day long than have this, okay? I just would.
Absolutely. And you hit it about the kitchen. You hit it about the kitchen because I can't even go in there to get food because they're so violent to me there. So,
okay. Yep. Well, there you go. That's what they're showing me. Cans of soup and, you know, whatever's going on in the kitchen is not a good time. And, you know, there's blocks there with knives in them. So the last thing, if some child is throwing stuff at you, how long is it going to be before you find a knife to throw at you? So I just don't want to find out what that timeline is. I would rather be out. So just saying.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Thanks for
both.
calling in, love.
So much. Okay.
You bet. Awesome. Bye-bye. Hey, folks, we've got a bunch of other people on hold. We've got a bunch of other people with their hands in the air. We love you. We're running out of time for today. But I want to thank Dr. Rita Louise for being on the show today. Thank you so much for making it fun and playing badminton and tennis with me in the show today.
Well, you know, I love reading. I love working with clients, and I love working with another reader, you know, and, you know, I wish we had, you know, more time with the listeners, you know, during these sessions, because I think you and I would just end up bouncing ideas back and forth and just doing some incredible deep work with people. So I love that. Love it.
Yeah, and it shows. And thank you so much for being on the show today. Please tell folks how to get a hold of you as far as the website, phone number.
Sure. The website is soulhealer.com, SOULHEALER.com. The best way to contact me is to use the contact form on the website. My phone number is 972-475-3393. I'm not very good at answering my phone, which is why I recommend the website, unless you leave a message. I don't know about you, but I get too many solicitor phone calls that I don't answer it all that much anymore.
No, I don't blame you. I don't either, love. I don't answer any call that's not got a name assigned in my phone.
Exactly.
It's all good. So we sure appreciate you being on the show today and contributing and helping out the callers. And, you know, also we want to empower this particular show and all my shows for anybody that listens now or in the future, even the replay. Folks, if you recognize an issue or a disease, illness, or disorder that was part of the show today, just know that take that same advice, that same healing energy, and that same frequency that we've put through in this show today, and just know that that's going to help you change as well, okay? And I want to wish everybody the rest of your life will be the best of your life, and remember to make progress every day. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.